Hello, 9th Mumbai Shorts International Film Festival 2020. Thank you very much for selecting our submission, The Room with a View. We are very honored and thrilled to be part of the festival and really looking forward to it. One of the challenges that we faced during the shoot, we actually realized it while we were at the shoot already. Was that the husband and wife, they use a lot of foul language. There is a lot of profanity in the film, in the script, and there is a child at the shoot. So the moment they started rehearsing their lines, I was like, "Hey guys, we can't do this."
I think the script was a little dark, so it was uncomfortable saying it.
It was definitely an interesting challenge to do the production design for the film because we were trying to find a space with the very specific requirements of having this limited view into the fight and the argument that's going on in the next room. So to be able to find that space and then on a very minimal budget put it together was a very unique and interesting challenge.
So it was an impromptu decision that I had to take. To ask my actors, husband and wife, to not to utter those lines, and later basically we dubbed those lines. So that was a very conscious and important decision that we had to take, but gladly it came out really well.
I think one of the challenges we faced was definitely the global pandemic, but luckily we finished filming right before the lockdown.
As the actor who played the abused wife, for me personally, it was very emotionally draining to get into character and stay in character. And the audio part of it, where you can hear the fight between the husband and the wife at the start of the movie, was way more challenging than the on-screen presence. It was, even though the dialogues were so well written, it was definitely challenging to sit across from a co-actor who's clearly not abusing you, and to have to bring in that helplessness and the fear and the anxiety and to convey that just through your voice. So that was definitely a huge challenge for me in this film. Thank you.
Audiences should watch this film because it creates awareness about domestic violence, which unfortunately is rampant amongst our Indian community, as well as throughout the world in all cultures and all communities.
Domestic violence is a problem that affects millions. It affects everyone of every race, every gender, and every religion. It doesn't leave anyone. And we are all aware of it, at least in my opinion. And often we are not able to do much about it. Sometimes we are helpless, and other times we just choose not to act.
And our main objective is primarily just to have people talk about the topic, domestic violence or intimate partner violence, IPV, as it's called right now. It is the shadow pandemic that the world is facing right now. The cases of IPV have increased dramatically all across the world as partners are living with their abusive partners in a confined space. Tensions are high.
Needless to say, the film is about domestic violence, and we are very keen on having our audiences spark conversations about it. Abuse never ever starts off very explicitly. A lot of times people could be left guessing if a situation is abusive or not. In the case of domestic violence, obviously it's a little more obvious. But in addition to domestic violence being a topic that we would like our audiences to think about and talk about, especially in these times of the pandemic, when you may be forced to be in situations where men and women equally are forced to continue living in those abusive situations. I think
The Room with a View doesn't give a solution, but we hope it creates awareness so that if you see something, say something.
So, my main objective of making this film was actually to create the awareness and help people understand the issue and also possibly address it.
So our main objective is, of course, to get the word out. So our plan and strategy really is to get the film out there to as many film festivals as possible, to get it up on video platforms and organically have more and more people watch it, with the main objective of people talking about this topic.
Films are an excellent medium for emerging filmmakers to express their vision and communicate their thoughts on social issues which plague society today.
But the message was really powerful and I was happy being a part of it.
Our main plan of promoting and distributing the film is through various online video platforms like YouTube, through our friends, through making sure that friends and family talk about this movie, share this movie with their extended friends and family, and of course, more importantly, the film festivals. This is where we are hoping we can get our message through to a wide set of audience. To the question of how did I come up with the idea of making The Room with the View, the topic of domestic violence is something that us as a group have discussed quite a few times to undertake. And one thing that has always been very interesting for me to explore is the effect on family of domestic violence, on the extended family, on the kids, on the grandparents who many times stay along with the husband and wife. Gun ownership is certainly something that is a huge point of debate in the United States of America right now, and the combination of gun ownership and domestic violence is usually very lethal, and usually has one ending.
Tiny Little Shots is a group of passionate and like-minded people. We all have our day jobs, which means that the expenses of a film are usually covered by our salaries, because our films, they don't make money. But we do try to limit our budget and put a reasonable limit to it, basically. But this limit, we usually don't let it come in the way of a director's artistic ideas. That we try to make sure of. So yeah, I mean, our salaries are usually paying for our passion, if I can put it like that.
It all came together when I think I was watching a YouTube video of a 911 call, in which I think a kid was very calmly explaining to the operator what was going on in the kid's place. I think her aunt was going through a heart attack or something of that sort, and that triggered the thought in me of what would a kid do? How would the kid handle the 911 call if the kid is witness to sustained domestic violence?